First one is the Agile model. So, okay, this term Agile. Agile model is an iterative and incremental approach to software development that emphasizes flexibility, collaboration, and customer feedback. Unlike traditional methodologies like the waterfall model, Agile promotes adaptive planning and encourages rapid delivery of small functional software increments. So small. So there is a big requirement. First we will create small chunks of those requirements and we will have incremental delivery. So that is what we are going to do in the Agile model. Let's see the key principles of Agile model. First one is iterative development. Software is developed in small manageable units called iterations or sprints, typically lasting from 1 to 4 weeks. And ideally, in ideal scenario, sprint is usually of 1 or 2 weeks, preferably. If it is 4 weeks sprint, then it might not give you that agile flavor. Each iteration results in a potentially shippable product increment. And this is actually a term in the agile that is called PSP, potentially shippable product. PSP, it means whatever we are developing, it's a very small product, but shippable means it can be live, it can go to production, and it works as a standalone unit, right? Customer collaboration, frequent communication with stakeholders and users is prioritized to ensure that the product meets their needs. Feedback is gathered regularly to guide future development. It's flexible in nature. Agile embraces changes, allowing team to adapt to evolving requirements even late in the development process, right? So for example, this sprint is of 1 week, right? And I got a new requirement in the next sprint, which is going to start the next week, right? We can put in those requirements, whether those are enhancements or some bugs, right? So flexible in nature. Self-organizing teams. Agile promotes empowered teams that can organize their work and make decisions collectively, fostering creative and ownership, right? So small teams and agile teams. So each team will have, for example, one backend developer, front-end developer, BA, right? They collectively get the work. They collectively work on those. We have regular stand-ups, etc. And then finally they make the collective decision. So that is like the more increased collaboration among the team members, right? Continuous improvement. Teams regularly reflect on their processes and outcomes, seeking ways to enhance their performances and product quality. Let's see the common agile frameworks we have. These are the popular ones: Scrum, Kanban, and XP, right? Scrum and these are popular, at least Scrum and Kanban, they both are very popular. A popular framework that divides work into sprints. So and sometimes we use these terms if you work for a project: Scrum ceremonies, daily stand-up, retrospective, etc., right? Into sprints with the defined roles. So we will have Scrum Master, Product Owner, Development Team, etc., right? Scrum Master, who will be responsible for running the show, will work as a facilitator, getting the requirement, providing this information to the development team, etc. Product Owner, who is going to own that product, the whole digital platform, right, from where the requirements are coming, will decide which requirement should be taken first, and so on. And finally the development team, right, the front-end developer, the back-end developer, the integration developer, etc. And ceremonies like daily stand-up and sprint reviews, etc., right? The next type is Kanban, and it focuses on visualizing the workflow and limiting work in progress, enabling teams to manage tasks more efficiently. And then we have Extreme Programming, XP. It emphasizes technical practices like pair programming, test-driven development, and continuous integration to improve software quality. Now let's go into detail of each one. Scrum. Scrum is an agile framework used for managing and completing complex projects, primarily in software development. It provides a structured yet flexible approach to project management and emphasizes collaboration, iterative progress, and customer feedback. And mostly I see in all of the projects usually we use Scrum only, because of course it's the benefits of the iterative behavior. We get the requirement and then phased delivery. Sprint is of 1 or 2 weeks, right? So it is easy to adapt new requirement if there are changes coming. So we can have show and tell sessions with the client to understand the feedback of the client, etc. Right? Now let's see the key components of Scrum. So first one is roles of the team members. We have Scrum Master, Product Owner, and Development Team. These are the main roles. A Scrum Master facilitates the Scrum processes, removes obstacles, and ensures that the team adheres to Scrum practices. So for example, if development team they get any blocker because the requirement is not clear, or there is an external dependency, maybe the external vendor is not providing the API response, etc. So what development team will do? They will reach out to Scrum Master, will tell him or her that this is the dependency we have. Now it's his responsibility to get those things resolved, right? Product owner represents stakeholders and customers, responsible for defining and prioritizing the product backlog to maximize value. So he's like the boss of that product. He is going to provide all the feedback, which requirement should go first. He will decide. He will attend the show and tell sessions. Will provide his evaluation, provide the feedback, etc. And then we have the development team, cross-functional, right? Whenever we talk about this term agile or scrum, you will hear this term cross-functional means front-end developer also knows the back-end development, vice versa. People know stuff, they are not much dependent. Even the full stack development stuff, these key terms came from here itself, right? The cross-functional means within the team we will have people who are cross-trained, means they know, they have all the skills which is required for that project, right? So for example, we need tester, we need developer, we need front-end developer, back-end developer, BA. So these all people are there in that team. That is a cross-functional group of professionals who work together to deliver the product increment. So, and there can be multiple teams. So one team, another team, and third team. Now all these groups, these teams would have all those type of those roles. I mean, so for example, front-end developer, back-end developer, PA, tester, again front-end developer, back-end developer, PA, tester, right? So this type of team formation will happen as part of Scrum. Then we have artifacts. Artifacts will be product backlog, sprint backlog, and increment. Product backlog is a prioritized list of features, enhancements, and bug fixes that need to be addressed in the project. That is product backlog, a prioritized list of features and enhancements. Sprint backlog, a subset of items from the product backlog. So product backlog is a bigger chunk of items, right? Now consider few items which should go as part of sprint, because the sprint is of 1 or 2 or up to 4 weeks, right? So that subset from product backlog is sprint backlog, a subset of items from the product backlog that the team commits to completing in a specific sprint. That is sprint backlog. And increment is the sum of all completed product backlog items at the end of sprint, representing a usable version of the product. That is called increment. Now let's understand the various events within Scrum. So first one is sprint. Sprint is a time boxed iteration. Like I said, starting from 1 week to 4 week sprint we can have. A time boxed iteration typically lasting from 1 to 4 weeks, during which the development team works to complete the sprint backlog. Then sprint planning, a meeting at the start of each sprint where the team decides what to accomplish. So for example, now from this sprint is going to start. Before this sprint will start, we need some work, right? Now that work will be decided in the sprint plan. Daily scrum, short daily meeting, usually up to 15 minutes, right? For the team to discuss progress and any obstacles. So in the scrum, right, daily we have calls, that is called a daily scrum, where the development team, all the team members, they join the call for 15 minutes. They just update that what they have done yesterday, what they are planning for today, is there any blocker, and typically it should end within 15 minutes. And if there is any obstacle, they will inform Scrum Master, and it's Scrum Master's responsibility to get those issues or obstacles resolved. Then we have sprint review, a meeting held at the end of a sprint to demonstrate the increment and gather feedback from stakeholders, right? Sometimes we do show and tell session also with customer, with stakeholders, to after the development is complete, before we make it live, we just have arrange a meeting in which we show them that okay, this is what we have developed, please confirm if this is what you are expecting. Then we have sprint retrospective, a meeting after the sprint review for the team to reflect on the sprint and identify areas for improvement. So in this meeting we discuss what went well, what we could have done better, is there any blocker or something, or sometimes we give recognitions also to the people, like the people who are doing amazing job, we recognize them so that their morale will boost up, right? All these things come in the sprint retrospective. Now let's understand the benefits of Scrum. Flexibility, adaptable to change and can respond quickly to new requirements that we have seen. Collaboration, it enhances teamwork and communication among team members and stakeholders. Continuous improvement, and by the way I just used the Scrum terminology, this formatting was not correct, I just made it from white to yellow, so I just used the Scrum here. Okay, continuous improvement encourages regular reflection and adaptation, leading to better processes and product over time. Customer focus, frequent feedback loops ensure that the product aligns with customer needs and expectations. So Scrum is widely used across various industries beyond software development, including marketing, education, and product management, due to its effectiveness in promoting collaboration and delivering value efficiently. Okay, next agile framework is Kanban. Let's see what is Kanban. Kanban is a visual workflow management method used to optimize and manage work processes. It emphasizes continuous delivery, efficient and flexibility in various fields, including software development, manufacturing and service industry. So first let's understand what is Kanban board, because that way we will be able to understand what is this whole thing. A Kanban board is a visual management tool used to organize and track work in progress. It typically consists of columns that represent different stages of workflow. So the columns would be, for example, to do tasks which are not yet started, in progress. Tasks means started and the team is working on those tasks. Done means the tasks are completed, and there can be other stages also. So for example, in review, if the task is development is complete and it's ready for an SME to review, etc. Right? So we can have additional columns as well. Tasks or work items are represented by cards which are moved across the board as they progress through the stages. The Kanban method helps team visualize their work, limit work in progress and improve flow. It originated in manufacturing but has been widely adopted in software development and other fields for its flexibility and effectiveness in managing tasks and improving efficiency. So let's see first how to set up a Kanban board. So to create a board, either we can use a physical board, right, or we can have some digital platforms also available. So for example, we have few digital platforms like Trello, Jira, etc. right, or we can just simply use a whiteboard and we can just put some sticky notes also, right. So the very first thing is define your workflow identify the stages of your process, and like I said, to do tasks, in progress tasks, in review tasks, and done tasks, right? So we can have those columns. I mean, these are the different stages or different stages we will encounter within our process, and then we can of course customize these stages. Then we need to of course create the task cards. For each task, create a card that it should include a brief description, only one liner, sometimes just a headline title, any relevant details like what is the due date, who is the assignee, or any link if it is a digital dashboard, and then priority level if applicable. Mostly it is applicable that what is the priority of that task. And then we need to set work in progress limits, decides on limit for how many tasks can be in the certain stages at one time. So for example, given a time, a maximum of 3 tasks it can be in progress state, right? Because we also need to make sure that there is a progress, right, in the work item. I mean, there is a progress. And then of course we need to use the board regularly. Make it a habit to update the board regularly. We sometimes have the stand-up calls also, like for example 15 to 20 minutes call where all the team members will join that call, will explain, okay, this is the task which is in to do yesterday, which was in to do yesterday, and now I started working on it, so that's why it moved to in progress state, something like that. And move tasks as their status changes, and hold regular meetings like daily stand-up to discuss progress and challenges. Reflect and adapt. Periodically review your workflow and make adjustments as necessary. This might involve changing stages, adjusting work in progress limits, or redefining how tasks are managed. And this is just a sample how it will look if you are using a digital platform, or even if you are using sticky notes on the whiteboard. That is fine. So what we just learned that we can have different columns. So for example, to do column, in progress column, review column, done column. There can be some customized columns as well. And consider these cards are nothing but the tasks which team is going to work on. So for example, somebody is working on some UX design, another person is working on the backend functionality work, right? These multiple tasks, right? So on this board, there will be the whole team will have those cards, and then they will change the so for example, yesterday this task D was in to do state, and the person has worked on it, so now it should be in progress state. So while in the stand-up call, or maybe previous to that, the person will change the status. If it is a physical board, the sticky note, he will just pick this sticky note from here, will paste it here, right? And if it is a digital dashboard, then we have workflows available. We just change the status from to do to in progress, or any of the applicable. So this is how we manage the Kanban board using the various type of cards. Let's see few tips for effectiveness of Kanban. First thing is keep it visual, because visual means it will be interactive. Use colors or tags for priority labels. Tags are nothing but, if we are using the digital dashboard, then those platforms provide tags feature. So for example, something should be available for some review, right? So we can just tag that card with the review tag, right? So we can create tags also if we are using any digital platform. For example, in Trello, etc., we have okay, use colors or tags for priority levels, types of tasks or team members. Stay flexible, adapt the board as your team's needs evolve, right? And involve the team members. Get input from all team members to ensure the board meets everyone's needs. Now, since we know about Kanban, let's see the key principles of Kanban. First thing is, of course, visualize the workflow. Use a Kanban board, either physical or digital, to visualize the workflow. Each task is represented as a card, and the board is divided into columns that represent different stages of the process. To do, in progress, and done. Limit work in progress. Set limits on the number of tasks that can be in progress or at any time. One time. This helps to reduce the bottlenecks, maintain focus, and improve overall flow. Focus on flow. Monitor the flow of tasks through the system. The goal is to ensure smooth transition between stages, minimizing delays and improving efficiency. On continuous improvement, encourage a culture of continuous improvement, often referred to as Kaizen. Regularly assess the process, identify areas for enhancement, and implement changes to optimize performance. Let's see a few benefits of Kanban. Sometimes people call it as Kanban. So either way. Okay. Flexibility. Easily adapt to changing priorities and workload. Provides a clear visual representation of work status, making it easy for teams to see what is being worked on and what is next. Efficiency. Helps identify bottlenecks and inefficiencies, leading to improved workflow and productivity. Focus on value. Emphasizes delivering value to customers through continuous improvement and responsiveness to needs. So in summary, Kanban or Kanban is widely applicable across various domains such as software development, project management, customer support, personal task management as well, right? It is particularly effective in environments where work is unpredictable and priorities can change frequently. Kanban is a powerful method for visualizing work, managing flow, and fostering a culture of continuous improvement, making it a popular choice for teams aiming to enhance productivity and collaboration. Now we have learned Scrum and Kanban. Let's see what is the difference. So this tabular format I just put in so that we can see all the differences or align what is changed between Kanban and Scrum. So framework type, it's continuous flow and it's iterative and increment flow, right? We have visualization here, and Scrum is basically organizing the work into fixed length sprints. So like 1, 2, 4 is sprints, right? In Kanban, we do not have any defined roles, whereas in Scrum we have defined roles. We have product owner, Scrum master, development team, etc. And work in progress limits. Yes, of course we have the limit on work in progress, whereas there is no restriction of work in progress items limits. There is no such restriction. Planning perspective, continuous planning is needed in this Kanban, whereas in Scrum, sprint planning at the start of each sprint, that is needed. Change management, changes can be made at any time, right? Anytime. So usually that's why Kanban is also used for, so for example, if there is any production issue, there is a production issue, L1, L2, L3 support fixing team. So that is also one of the use case where we should use, or we can use Kanban, because anytime if there is a production issue coming, that ticket should be taken by the team to work upon. So that is not a good use case for Scrum team, because Scrum work is already decided before the sprint starts, right? In Scrum, changes are generally not allowed during a sprint. So yes, time frame, no fixed time frame. Tasks are completed as capacity allows, and in Scrum we have fixed time frame, which is a sprint, typically 1 to 4 weeks. Meetings, minimal required meetings, ad hoc discussions, whereas in Scrum, regular ceremonies, sprint planning, daily stand-up, sprint reviews, sprint retrospective, all those ceremonies happen. Focus, continuous delivery and flow optimization is the focus of Kanban, whereas for Scrum, delivering a potentially shippable product, and we call it as PSP, increment at the end of each sprint. And PSP is nothing but that product which we are building in 1 to 4 weeks of time. That itself is a component which can work individually, right? Adaptability, highly adaptable, easy to implement changes, and Scrum is more structured. Changes require more planning and can disrupt sprints if there is anything which is coming in between. Now let's see, since we have learned Agile, let's see what are the advantages of Agile framework. Rapid delivery. Frequent releases provide users with early access to features and improvements, right? 1 to 4 week of sprint, for example, if we talk about Scrum, right? Within a few weeks we are releasing those new features or fixes to the production environment. So it's a rapid delivery. Increased collaboration. continuous interaction with stakeholders leads to better alignment with user needs. So within Scrum, so for example, we do those show and tell session, we get the feedback before we put that feature on the production environment. We show it to client, see this is what we have built, is it working fine? We take the feedback and then sometimes we improve those things, right? So the collaboration is increasing with the stakeholders. Higher quality, regular testing and feedback help identify issues early, resulting in improved product quality. Yeah, this is self-explanatory. Let's see a few disadvantages of Agile framework. First one is less predictability. Project timelines and budgets can be harder to estimate due to the iterative nature of Agile. Right? So someone says like, can you give me estimate of this project right away? So it's not predictable. Requires a discipline. Teams must be well organized and committed to regular communication and collaboration. So I think people are actually not needed in Agile framework, because I mean the lesser duration, consider we just have 1 week of a sprint. So within 1 week we need to make sure we push this change to production, right? If people are just sitting idle on the item, of course that won't be a successful release. So we need discipline. Risk of scope creep. Frequent changes and additions can lead to project scope expanding beyond original intentions. So here actually the main role of Scrum Master comes into picture, where this person should be should explain, should be a little bit stubborn as well, that we cannot introduce any item during the sprint, for example, right? So concluding, the Agile model is well suited for projects in dynamic environments where requirements may evolve. It fosters collaboration, adaptability, and continuous improvement, making it a popular choice in software development today. Yeah, this is one of the, I mean, most of the job descriptions would have this as one of the JD. The person should know Agile.